Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode. Well, it's been a windy old weekend in southeast Queensland, so I'm going to spend this Sunday afternoon at the mouth of the Caboolture River chasing sand whiting. It's the bottom of the tide at the moment and I've just had a bit of a drive around looking at a few banks, marked a few spots for that incoming tide. Let's see how we go. I'm going to be fishing 2 rods this afternoon. These are the setups, both with 5-inch Elvies. We've got a Gary Howard Brembo 4-wrap and a Gary Howard Club Special. These are 2 of my favourite whiting rods. The rig that I'm running is quite a simple one. So we've got a size 1 ball sinker down onto a black crane swivel. And then I've got about 1 metre of 6-pound fluorocarbon as trace. Got a short piece of red plastic tube with a little bead to keep it down on the hook. And a size 6 true turn. On that, I'm just going to put a little bit of bloodworm. So we've got our worm. I'm just going to thread that onto the hook. That's our prime whiting bait, ready to go. The reason I chose the Caboolture River this afternoon is because we've got about 20 knots of southeasterly. We've got an incoming tide. So when I'm fishing for whiting, what I really like to do is have the wind and the tide coming the same way and then fish out of the back of the boat. Another prime whiting bait, ready to go. We've got a lovely big sandbank here behind us, and as that tide starts to run up into the river, that'll cover up and those fish will get up on that bank for a feed. So we haven't got too much run at the moment, so what I'm going to do with one of the rods is just slowly wind in, moving that bait along the flats, looking for any fish that are keen for a feed. There we go, first decent fish for the afternoon. The way it sort of ate that bait, I'm thinking it's a brim. Just really slammed at this fish. That's what it is, it's a brim. And he fought a bit bigger than what he is, as he got wrapped around that fin there. There we go, only just threw that bait out to the side and took all of about 30 seconds to get slammed. When you're fishing for whiting, it's a good idea to cast to the side, it sort of keeps your baits moving. It's not a whiting anyhow, it's just a little brim, but that tide's starting to move now and the fish are coming on. All right, so no real luck in this first spot, only a couple of small brim. So it's time for a move. I'm not going to go too far, I'm just going to go the other side of this sandbank that we've been casting back onto. See if they're on the other side of it. Rightio, so I've just gone to the opposite side of the bank that we started on. It's a nice little sort of drop off here. It goes from about 200 millimetres of water down into sort of 1.2 metres. We've got the tide coming over the bank down into the drop off. There's every chance that the whiting might be sitting on the back edge. Oop, there's the first fish. Didn't take too long. Just got to hook him now. And got him. When you're whiting fishing, if it's not really happening in a spot, it's certainly worthwhile making the move. Not a whiting, just a little brim. All right, what do we got on this? It's fighting like a brim again. Might be a case of dodging the brim this afternoon, I think. And that's what it is, another little brim. Won't spend too much time here now. We'll probably push up river, I think, and try and find some whiting. Just pulled up to this new spot. Hasn't taken too long to start getting bites. Not too sure what they are yet. Got this fish. Feels like a whiting. Definitely feels like a whiting. There we go, that's what we came for. First keeper of the afternoon. He's not huge, but I'll take him. There we go, that fish is 25. Legal size limit in Queensland at the moment is 23. 23 is a pretty small fish, but 25, you'll get an okay fillet off that. There we go, another fish. I think that's the same thing though. I think this will be a brim. Sort of the initial fight, they tend to go a bit harder than whiting. Now that is a beautiful, beautiful whiting, that. That is a really, really nice fish. It had me fooled, I thought it was a brim. It's actually a really nice whiting. Sort of get nervous with these bigger fish when you get them close to the boat like this. They tend to take a big dive, and if you're going to lose them, this is where you lose them. Just using that current to sort of keep his head down at the moment. I've only just got him pinned too. Whoop. Now they really made a meal of that one. There we go, guys. Beautiful, beautiful Caboolture River whiting. I'll take him out of the net and give you a good look at him. He is a cracking fish. That is an absolute cracker. I'm stoked with that. You can see there, the hook only just pinned him in the corner there. That's why I was pretty nervous when he was doing those dives around the boat. I was hoping that it was well and truly lodged in there, which it was. That is a beautiful whiting out of the Caboolture River. He's 38, that fish, but you can see the condition that he's in. Absolute thumper. Just picked this rod up to check the bait, and I just slowly wound it in and got sort of nibble. So I persevered and just kept winding slowly, and I've hooked a fish. I don't know what it is. Oh, it's another beautiful Caboolture River whiting. I met this fish as well. He's not quite as big as that last big one, but he is definitely a quality fish. Fair bit of tide here, which they're using to fight against when they get to the boat. Another beautiful whiting. There he is. That fish should be about 31 or 32 centimetres. Like I was saying, I was just slowly winding. I was getting nibble. He eventually swallowed the bait. Good hook set. Getting a bite on my other rod there now, which I'll just sort of watch that closely. Oh, there we go. Got him. Could be in for a good afternoon here. Much smaller fish, but the right species. He'll be going back, that one. It's all happening here. I've got both rods getting bites at the moment. I think that one may well be on there, I think. Yep, that one's there. Once again, I've got a rod out either side. Oop, there goes that red rod. This fish isn't too big. Hopefully that one hooks himself. Oh, actually, this one just turned it on a little bit. Oh, there we go. That fish has hooked himself. There we go. Beautiful whiting on the black rod. Now let's see what we got on the red rod. Yep, I've got him too. I think I've got him. Yep, he's there. This one's got a bit more weight. I don't know if it's a good whiting or a brim yet. Doing that big lunge like a whiting would. It's a bit hard to see at the back of the boat at the moment. I've got the sunshine in my eyes. Yeah, that's another beautiful whiting. How about that? Double hookups. 2 rods, 2 whiting. That tide is now running in pretty fast, so I'm on a 1-ball sinker on both rods. I'm just going to go to a bigger sinker on this rod and see how it goes, so I'm going to step it up. I think that's a 2-ball or a 3-ball. Fair bit bigger than what I have been using. There we go, bites on both rods. Which one's going to go? Oh, they're both going. This is crazy. I reckon this one's more got the bait. Yep, man, got him. Beauty of these big, long, whippy rods is a lot of the time the fish will actually hook itself without feeling too much resistance. Another beautiful whiting for the afternoon. Really starting to knock a feed together now. Got this fish as well on the black rod. Like I was saying, both rods were going at the same time. The beauty of these big long rods is that the fish hook themselves most of the time. Absolute tiddler though. That's all right. Long shank hook, only just lipped him, which is nice. He'll go back good and healthy. There we go. Did my best to mess this one up in the wind. Line wrapping around the Elvie everywhere. Not this fish's lucky day. Yet, anyway. I was actually just thinking about moving up into the shallows behind us, which you might actually still do because this is only a small brim. The tide's probably come up about 1/2 metre since we started in this spot. The sound is showing sort of 1.1 metre now. It was about 600 when we turned up. So I'll let this brim go. I'll get that other rod in and I'll probably move about 50 metres. So I just made the move, moved about 100 metres. I did mark the spot where we were, so if this doesn't produce, I won't hesitate to move back there, but my thinking is with a bit more water in the river now, those fish are going to be using that tide as an opportunity to push up and feed on banks that may have been exposed at low tide or just below the surface at low tide. Straight away in the new spot, I'm onto a fish. Oh, my other rod's going now as well. And that's the target species. A good old sand whiting. See if we've got a fish on that other rod yet. Yep. There must be fish all through this area. So now that I've confirmed that, you know, if they go a little bit quiet in one spot, I won't hesitate to move to another. The old snot fish, the old pony fish, they have a substance on them that is like glue. Got this one. Oh, come on. Black rod's going as well, so I'm hoping he'll hook himself. There we go. That fish would be just legal, but I've got a feed there in the esky already, so I'm just going to release him for another day. See you, mate. All right, time to see if that fish on the other rod while I was catching that one hooked itself. Oh, that didn't take too long to get a good bite on that. Geez, that bait was in the water for all of about 5 seconds when that went. That's a better quality fish than that last one, so that one will be going in the ice box. I'll only sort of keep them if they're 28 centimetres plus now that I've got a feed. There we go. Feels like a nice fish. Gotta love the action of these nice long rods. They really do help the fish just hook itself. That fish should be about 23, 24 centimetres. Like I said earlier, I've got to feed a quality fish in the ice box there, so I'm really going to only keep anything sort of 28 centimetres plus now. So throw that one back and come back for him next season. These fish really haven't stopped biting for the last sort of hour and a half on this run-in tide. It's been a good little session so far. That said, I'm down to my last couple of worms, so I'll be out of here shortly. They are beautiful quality sand whiting that we're getting this afternoon. That fish would be well over 30, it'd be about 32. My other rod's just loaded up, so I'm going to throw this one basically the same spot where I cast this one. Fingers crossed, there is a school of whiting there. wasn't a whiting. That is the first decent bream that we've caught this afternoon. Got to feed a whiting, so he's going back. Oh. There's another fish. Now, like I was saying, I've thrown this straight into the same area where I hooked that bream from, so my thinking was that it could be a school of whiting, but there's every chance that this is another bream. And that's what it is, so I won't make that same mistake again. I might even send both rods out the opposite side. So I'm down to my last couple of bits of worm. So I've just moved even shallower now, so we're actually in 500 millimeters of water. The sun's starting to set in the west a little bit, so those fish will well and truly be pushing up shallow now with that incoming tide. That bait just had a fish sitting on it. I don't think it's real big. No, it's not real big at all. It's actually surprisingly not a bad one. Fish is about 26. Well, I've used all my worms up, so that brings me to the end of another session. I had a really fun afternoon up the Caboolture River. I lost count of how many fish I've got, but I'm thinking that I've got about 10 there in the ice box for a feed. Standout fish was that 38 centimetre one. If you've got any questions for me about how I go about my whiting fishing, don't be shy and drop a question in the comments below. I hope that you've been enjoying my local content and you're out on the water catching a few fish, and I'll see you next time.